The source energy should be kept within, because if you waste it outside of you, you are impoverishing your life. In this video, I will share 10 ways how you waste your energy and therefore you reduce your magnetism. First is comparing yourself to others. This is such a waste of time because all of us have very unique lives and unique lessons to learn in this lifetime. So it's absolutely pointless to compare yourself to others. The second is judging others. Again, this causes us to waste our energy in a very low way. So the source energy is being directed through the judgmental mind, and the vibration goes low, and this causes you to attract negative events. And when you use your energy in such a negative way, you waste a lot of energy because it's a dense energy. You're investing a lot of energy for that denseness to manifest. And so people who judge others, they tend to be exhausted because of this heavy use of energy. The third way how you decrease your magnetism is trying to please others. Again, such a useless way of using energy because you cannot please everyone. And when you end up trying to please others, again, you're investing your divine source energy outside of you, which causes you to feel disempowered. And this kind of use of energy comes from usually childhood, where you were conditioned to please others, for example, your parents, so that they might be treating you better, for example. For those who tend to please others, first make sure you're okay, and then you will know from that balanced position about how to help others. So again, the most important thing is investing in yourself first in order to be in a position to evaluate how to best help others and if to help them at all, because sometimes others rely on our help, and by us giving our help to them, we are actually preventing them from learning important life lessons. The fourth way of reducing your magnetism is being jealous of others. Again, this usually comes from childhood conditioning of children being encouraged to compete against one another, and this causes them to start feeling jealousy for those who do better. And again, it all stems from comparing ourselves to others, investing energy outside of us, and getting disempowered as a result. So most of such behaviors start from childhood, from a conditioning that parents instilled us in because they knew no better. So instead of being jealous of others, focus on making yourself better. And the way to know what to do about your situation and how to improve it is by staying centered, and in this way getting guidance from the source about what next step to take. The fifth way that you may decrease your magnetism is by being too attached to some outcome. Again, this causes your source energy, the divine energy, the energy that gives you vitality, that gives you life, to be directed outside of you. And it's even worse if the outcome is not what you expect, because then consequently you will direct your energy to feeling unhappy about it or trying to change it. So again, a useless way to spend your divine given energy. In order not to decrease your magnetism in such a way, you should do your best in whatever activity that you're engaged in and leave the outcome up to God. It's not up to you to decide what will turn out of what you do. The most important thing for you is to be fully present in whatever activity you're in so that it's accomplished to the best of your ability. If you're fully present with that activity, you're raising your vibration because you're embodying the source, you're embodying that divine energy in this dimension without directing it to any person, anywhere outside yourself. You're staying within that activity and you are being fully present. This infuses your energy field with the source energy, with that pure energy, rather than the energy that is based on the mind, which is low vibration. And this in itself, of course, will start attracting best things for you. But what happens is that people attach expectations. The ego comes in and judges that since you are so good at what you're doing now, it must bring something good into your life. And it usually has something in mind about what outcome it wants out of that situation. And this closes you off from the blessings of the universe. So if you don't want to lose energy in activities that you do, don't attach any expectations to them. Don't work with any expectation in mind, which again wastes your power, but do the best that you can by working from the present moment, not in the mind, but you're working, you're being very attentive and present, doing your best, and then leaving the outcome up to God. If you work this way, it will actually energize you because you're bringing the source energy into your energy field. You are filling your energy field with this pure source energy. The sixth way people waste their energy and therefore decrease their magnetism is when they refuse to let go of good things. So the universe might have sent them some kind of blessing and they love it so much that they become controlling. They don't want to let go of it. And I made an entire video about this. It's very important to let go of what's leaving you because the universe is making space for something better. If something is leaving you, it means you outgrew it. It means it's no longer relevant in your life, and the universe tries to make space for something better to come. But if you can't let it go either physically of that thing, or if that thing left you, but you're mentally attached to it, you're firstly wasting a lot of your energy in a mental way on that item that's already gone, or you're not letting go of it physically, and therefore the universe cannot deliver anything new to you. So for you to attract what's currently best for you and not to waste your divine given energy, let go freely of the good things leaving your life. It means they serve their purpose and something even better is coming your way. The seventh way people decrease their magnetism is when they push against negative things. It could be as subtle as pushing away some negative thought into your subconscious. What's happening here is that you're using your divine given energy in an egoic way, because the ego is about separation. So when you want to push something away from you, you want to separate yourself from it. But since this universe is based on union, we're all connected, you are being involved in illusions by doing this. And what happens is that you use your divine given energy to attract negative things. Because when you push against something, you're directing your energy to that which you don't want, and you will get more of it. What's even worse is that if you push away negative thoughts or emotions, you're pushing them into the subconscious, and they will start creating negative things for you. So those dense energies are not dealt with, and they will cause you to manifest negative things. And you will wonder how negative things just come into your life out of nowhere. They don't come out of nowhere. They come from your undealt with things that you pushed into your subconscious mind. So when you're faced with something negative, what you can do is either, if it's subtle negative things that are non-physical in the form of negative thoughts, beliefs, or emotions, you need to center yourself so you stay within the source and you allow them to play out without focusing on them. So you don't direct your energy to them, yet you don't push against them, again wasting your energy. And so they just start dissolving back into your energy field, making your aura more powerful and you more magnetic as a result. And when it comes to negative people or events, again, no pushing against them, but You need to allow the source, or you could call it God or your true self, to show you the truth about those events. Because if you want to push against them, it means the ego is involved, so you're not seeing them correctly. And the ego can be very convincing, making you think that you really see the event or person the way that they are, but I can guarantee you that if you want to push against them, you don't see them correctly. So what you need to do is center yourself and ask your higher self, God, true self, to show you the truth about the event or a person, and now see them again without any judgment or reference to the past events or similar experiences that you had with the same or similar person, or experiences about a similar event. The eighth way of how people lose their magnetism is being involved in arguments. And I also advise against watching disharmonious shows where people argue and are mean to one another, because this kind of conditions you, makes it easier for you to be unkind to others. Avoid arguments at all costs, and even if a person is argumentative, you don't need to meet that person with your ego. It's the ego that clashes. You can still ask your higher self to show the truth about this person. And what you might be shown is that this person is very traumatized, and therefore, once you understand that, you will be able to approach that person through understanding and feeling compassion towards that person, and therefore you will neutralize it. Although they might be still trying to argue with you, you will respond with understanding, and so you will connect with the deeper being that's within them, that's who they really are, and bypass their personality, making actually easier for them to connect with their higher selves and bringing forth their true self. And that doesn't always happen, but what you will find is that the more you speak like this with an argumentative person, the more self-aware they become and the more they calm down. And so by doing this, you're helping another person, and you're also not wasting your energy by directing it through the ego, making your true self sleep in the background and powering, as though the true self then powers as a battery the ego. So you don't want to engage the ego, you want to operate through your source, through your true self. And so by avoiding arguments and really trying to understand another person and speaking from that position, you are not feeding the ego with your divine energy and impoverishing yourself, but you're allowing the source energy to come through, making your aura powerful and therefore you more magnetic. Now, another way, which is a very overlooked way of losing your power and therefore demagnetizing yourself, is through being involved in mental things like philosophies and book knowledge, because that's again directing your energy into the mind, feeding the mind rather than staying centered and allowing the source to directly come through you. So all those things, judgments and evaluations and being stuck, especially being stuck in philosophies, they waste a lot of your energy, and you're gaining information from books that might be false. So you're wasting your time as well. The best way to spend your time is being centered, so that the knowledge, the pure source knowledge, comes from within you, and then you know it's 100% true. Because even though some books are written from the source, if they were around for a while or they went through some editing process, there could be some inaccuracies involved, and so you're relying on something that might not be accurate. It's better to receive the knowledge directly, and what happens is that a good sign that you are already receiving source knowledge is that you lose interest in books. You just like being, not reading, but you just, when you have time, you just be. So you can learn it even now by staying centered as much as possible, by staying silent and aware of your surroundings and just resting in yourself. And that's the reason I created my spiritual support group, so that you learn how to gain this, how to start operating from the source by centering yourself, by grounding yourself, and by resting in your true self and then taking action from that point, from this state. If you want to join my spiritual group, read more about it by clicking the link below this video. And it's such a relief to no longer need to rely on books. The mind rests so much and you save a lot of energy. It's easy to understand that energy is wasted on physical activities, but a lot of people now waste more energy on mental activities. And that's why they feel exhausted, although they did nothing physically demanding. The 10th way of how people lose their energy is by being involved in their personalities, in their likes and dislikes. The personality is not you. You operate through the personality. And to increase the personality equals increasing clashes with other people, equals increasing judgments about other people, equals increasing your suffering, depression, all kinds of personality ills, psychological ills. You don't want to do it. And the way out of it is not to feed your personality, but stay grounded in the source. And what happens if you do this, again, you don't waste your energy, so your magnetism increases and you heal personal defects. So we are all born with personality defects. You can see personality defects in your astrological chart. So you will find as your awareness increases, these personality defects come into the surface, and before you were totally unaware of them, whilst others probably were aware of them. And so you start understanding that they are there, and through the awareness, through the inspiration coming from the source, you will understand exactly what to do about diminishing them and eliminating them, or sometimes they might disappear just by themselves because you no longer engage in that dysfunctional behavior. And although the flavor of personality will always remain whilst you are operating through it in this physical existence, you will find that as you learn to operate from the source, the traits will not be as extreme, and therefore you will not cause clashes with other people. So of course everyone is different in this life, but that difference could be so slight, so subtle that it doesn't cause any clashes, which is a wonderful thing to experience, because then you can be friends with everyone. And of course, as you don't believe you are the personality, and therefore you don't direct your energy through it, but you learn to direct energy through the source, you are not lowering your vibration, but you transmit the vibration of the source, which is the magnetism itself. And this, of course, causes you to attract the best people and the best events into your life that are perfectly suited for your earthly persona, because the source is not mean. It will reward you in the way that you inhibiting this earthly body and personality would appreciate. So again, if you wish to learn to operate from the source, I invite you to join my spiritual support group. We meet on Zoom every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. GMT. I really hope to see you there.